I think there are a lot of excitement in the BSE because the market trading just started.
Okay,
so may I request you please to repeat that question one more time.
If you can just give us a minute or so, let me just quickly address the market open. I think we're starting higher. We got about a 0.5% bump on the Nifty, 24,316. The Sensex, 0.45% higher, 79,745. You've got the Nifty Bank, which is about 0.4% higher as well. So it's a clean, positive, higher start.
Okay, actually, we'll just recheck the rates because I seem to have a fair amount of red on the screen.
Okay, I think so we will just go back and look at the rates in just a bit.
Yeah.
If I can, go back to Mr. Damani. Mr. Damani, PSU banks was my question. Earnings seem to have beaten in the quarter gone by. Okay, I think, there's a market open and fair bit of chatter there. Mr. Damani, if you can hear me, we'll have you back again. Thank you very much for joining us and being with us here on CNBC TV18. Thank you. If you can hear me. Thank you. Enjoy the evening, sir. We've got what?
Sure.
Thank you. I think the first sort of rates up on your screens and the indices are all up, starting higher. Advanced decline, I think, is evenly matched, almost close to 1:1. Mid caps, I think, are starting slightly soft, and I think we've got more rates which will come up as far as specific stocks are concerned. Nigel, you want to take up some of these names?
Yeah, I think we'll just wait by to see, more concrete rates that are coming in there. NCC appears like a stock that's doing quite well, which is up, I think, close to around 5%. So let's just try to get a few of those names.
Let's put some of these names up. Vari Energy, if you can have the stock up, it's up. It's the biggest volume-led gainer. It's got a 4.25% bump. Remember, Vari was a big mover yesterday as well. I think it ended about 10% higher. Weber Solar is coming up with a 5% pop, and it's the second largest volume-led gainer. There is NCC, as Nigel mentioned, 5.25% gain right there. There is Keytex Garments, which is up 5%. Volumes are thin, but don't expect volumes to be like a normal weekday market open. Brigade Enterprises is starting 8% in the green. So Brigade at about 1,270 at this point in time. So there is EPAC Durables, which is also starting about 5% higher. Prudent, that is the mutual fund distributor, which came out with numbers, I think, day before yesterday, post-market hours, was a big gainer yesterday. It's starting another 4% in the green. So you've got a fair bit starting, but it's a little slow if you want to look at volumes as well. On the downside, I think Narayana Hrudayalaya is starting about 3% lower, and Divi's Laboratory is very small. I mean, nothing actually. I can't spot one single name and I can spot two. One is NH Narayana Hrudayalaya and DCX India, which is down about 2%. Otherwise, tough to find anything which is down more than 1% with any sort of meaningful volumes right now.
Oh, absolutely. And on the Nifty as well, I mean, now that things have settled, it's a full 140-point up move that we're seeing. A lot of auto stocks are continuing to see a fair amount of momentum and action as those numbers trickle in for the month of October. Look at M&M, 2.5%. Remember, we were talking about their electric vehicle launch also, which is coming up in November. Stock's quite excited ahead of that. Eicher Motors is the other one, Tata Motors. So up and about. There's also Hero MotoCorp. So autos looking good. Then you've got the banks. The Bank Nifty is looking very solid with a gain of about 0.5% right now. And names like IndusInd, Axis Bank, even Kotak Mahindra, they're the ones that are leading from the front. There's a fair amount of PSU mix on the Nifty as well. NTPC, BEL, ONGC, lots of green on these stocks as well. Actually, commodities are doing well. Remember, the Chinese data has been quite promising the last couple of sessions that we've got, the PMI numbers. That seems to be working well for commodity stocks. I didn't mention oil. Actually, we'll check the oil-related plays because there's a upsurge in oil. There's some chatter around possible attack happening from Iran onto Israel. So lots of murmurs in the market.
Oil India as well as ONGC, both of them are marginally in the green. So that's good news. And, for those stocks. But you pull up Mahindra & Mahindra, that one's flying away. That's the biggest gain. That's up 2.5%. Eicher Motors as well, the year-to-year numbers look quite good. They've launched that new 650cc as well, which looks quite attractive. I guess, the test ride will be quite interesting over there. But good look, and, the engine specifics as well are rather good. So that is up close to around 2% or thereabouts. A few more notable movers. You have NCC, as I mentioned. Piramal Pharma, that's another stock that's moved well and moving on decent volumes. NBCC, that's another stock that's up. Ola Electric saw a sharp correction from around that 150 odd mark towards that 75 rupee mark, but that as well has pulled back a little bit. You have Genesis International. Yesterday, the promoter entity, actually, there was a sale over there, but there was a large fund that came in there, a couple of $1 billion fund that came and bought some shares. So Genesis continues moving up. It's up close to around 2.5%. As flat as can be, but it's good to see the mid-cap index on these low volumes still holding in the green.
No, absolutely. 130 points on the Nifty. It's a good look. 24,336 is where we are starting. The Sensex is starting about 0.5% higher, 79,810. The non-farm payroll numbers are out. This is the number of jobs which the US economy added in the month of October. And guess what? It's 12,000. 12,000. But remember,
yes, but it was about 100,000.
100,000.
Yeah.
The median Bloomberg expectation was 100,000. We should actually have the flash up. In any other month, if you got a 12,000 number as compared to a 100,000 expectation, you would have had massive reaction in the US. And actually, we look at US yields, etc. Maybe there will be some reaction. But there are two elements here which I think were widely discussed, but people did not know the impact. They knew that they would mess up the numbers. One is, of course, a lot of manufacturing strikes in the US. The other is hurricanes, the impact of the hurricane season in the US. And both those essentially have muddled the numbers. So I don't think that this will have, maybe it should not have, an outsized impact. Otherwise, yields should have come off sharply, and we should put that alert out as well now that we have the flash up. Hurricanes and strikes. So I think that is a large reason why these numbers look distorted. Otherwise, there is no reason to believe that the US economy is just added 12,000 jobs, because you just got the initial jobless numbers last night, the previous day. You got so many other data points. The private payrolls were strong. So this is just purely, distortion because of that. I don't think yields should collapse or anything of that sort. And I don't think this moves Fed pricing. So November 7th is when the Fed decision comes. A 25 basis point cut is expected, and I think we should be on track for that.
The unemployment rate remains at 4.1%, which was expected. So the rate hasn't changed. It's just that these disruptions because of the Boeing strike and, of course, all the weather-related disruptions, that's why we've got a down move over there. I'm just checking if there's any immediate impact on the dollar or on the rates. The US 10-year has actually fallen. I mean, I'm trying to see some of the immediate moves. It has reacted. The US 10-year was close to 4.3, 4.29, almost touching 4.3. Now it's at 4.24. So there is a reaction on the yield. And let's check what's happening to the dollar has also kind of moved a little bit, not too much, but yes, there is a bit of a reaction coming through. 104 on the dollar at this point in time.
If this was a number without all these disruptions, if you remember, we got the September number. October 1st is when it was a Friday, and we got the monthly editions for September. And that caused a huge reaction in global markets, if you remember. Right? That coincided with that yen move as well.
Yes.
And markets collapsed.
It was a total dislocation.
This is not one of those. This is essentially, as we've been saying, all those disruptions, etc. So we'll continue to track the implication of this in a bit. We take our quick commercial break as well. Our first after the market open here, as far as the moderate session is concerned. You will hear more opinion. Atul Suri will be with us on market technicals, and we map the journey out with him on the other side. Stay with us.